Hello everyone, Bleak here, and today we will be discussing my opinion on the MM8K mod for the endgame gear OP1-8K. The OP1-8K is quote-unquote currently being called the best mouse on the market. This mod brings the OP1-8K's weight down to a whopping 20 grams from its original weight of 51 grams. And I must say, big shout out to Mighty, aka MightAims, for creating this mod. For those of you who don't know, Mighty is a peripheral reviewer and also a content creator for the aim enthusiast group known as Worst Aimers. I want to start this video off by stating that I was not sent this mouse for review, but rather I purchased the kit myself due to my interest in it. Therefore, my review will not have any bias behind it, and me being the person I am, I'm going to give a straightforward review about the positives and negatives that I've experienced after owning it. The kit is currently available on Lethal Gaming Gear for a total of $50 US. The time span that I've spent with this mouse and played with it is roughly over a week, just to give you all a bit of insight on how long I've been using it. Without further ado, let's get into it and get the mouse assembled, and then I'll speak my thoughts while showcasing some gameplay where I was using the mouse. Straight out of the box, my first impression of the kit was that it seemed rather flimsy. Note, this is a 3D printed kit that is meant to be extremely lightweight, so I was expecting it to be on the weaker end. Upon receiving my initial copy, I actually realized that I did receive the product with a snap stab which the scroll wheel would sit on. This was rather unfortunate. I reached out to Mighty and he was nice enough to set me up with another copy, which I truly appreciated. While waiting for this copy to ship, I did want to see how the assembly would go. This is when I ran into my second issue. It seemed the 3D printing of the kit caused the screw holes to not be completely open for the installation of the clicks onto the PCB. I informed Mighty of this issue as well, as I may have just received a faulty copy of the kit. My second copy came, and with this one I had no issues, so I was able to assemble the mouse. I can now say that after installing the PCB and clicks onto the mouse, the flimsy feeling has definitely gone away. Upon inspection of the built product, my first test was to see if there was any swaying within the left mouse button and right mouse button. Due to the fact that the mod is 3D printed and very lightweight, you do get some sway on each of them. On the contrary, this is not something that I noticed while gaming with the mouse and getting into tense situations. The clicks from both the left mouse button and right mouse button feel very light and comfortable. Definitely love the feel of them and loved it even more when the grip was applied to the mouse. As for the scroll wheel, I have no complaint. It is held in place very well and the click of the scroll wheel feels natural and comes with ease. For my build, I did not use the original wire that comes with the OP1-8K. Instead, I purchased the LGG wire from Lethal Gaming Gear as it is lighter in weight and less noticeable when the mouse is in use. If you pair the MM8K with this wire, the entire mouse just feels like an extension of your arm and glides across any surface. You would think you were using a wireless mouse. This brings me to a QC issue that I did notice. On the MM8K, there isn't anything that holds the wire down into the position that it is placed into the mouse. Due to this, when picking up and placing the mouse down, the cable seems to slide out of where it sits periodically. I personally combated this by placing double-sided tape on the bottom of the cable and then pushing it into where it sits on the mouse. Since then, I have not had an issue with it lifting out. The next topic is more of a personal issue that may just be unique to me. I am a first-time fingertip mouse user. When holding the mouse, I tend to place tension on my thumb in some situations, which causes me to slightly tilt the mouse towards my thumb while holding it. Due to this, the sensor is no longer aligned straight upward, thus causing my horizontal movements to be skewed because the sensor isn't properly reading my motions. I would assume this isn't an issue with the mouse, but just user error, as I am a first-time fingertip mouse user. To combat and test this theory, I did buy the Keychron M4 to see if I had the same issue, and I did. This brings me to the conclusion that it is not the shape or contact points of the MM8K, but just me not being used to using fingertip mice. In conclusion, I feel the MM8K is in fact a great mouse to purchase. At first, I was a bit skeptical due to the unfortunate circumstances I was dealt, but once everything was squared away and I continued to use the mouse, I definitely became more comfortable with it. The more I use the mouse, the less I want to go back to using any of my other mice. How light the mouse is, in addition to just its design, is just keeping me drawn in. In terms of tracking, I have already beaten 3 of my Kovacs personal bests. Currently, I can't even imagine going back to any other mouse because I feel as if I would think I am holding a brick in my hand. Not only does owning a mod kit mouse look aesthetically unique, the performance of the MM8K is top tier. It took one of the greatest mice to this day and improved it even more. If you have not already, I do suggest that you try to get your hands on an MM8K mod. Thank you all for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed, as this was my first ever review, but there are definitely more on the way. Please, if you did, like, comment, and subscribe.